The project that we were choose was Forest City. Forest City is the development is located on the western straits of Johor, where the major aspects of it will be the formation of 4 man-made islands. These islands are intended to be developed as mixed development. It was established by Country Garden Pacific View Sendirian Berhad. So, the concept of Forest City is an aspiration towards a development that centers on wellness by emphasizing a lifestyle that is harmonic and healthy in a sustainable environment and in an urban setting that is efficient and comfortable to live, work and study in, and for recreation. However, this large scale of the project or commercial mixed development has the own potential of resulting in significant impacts to the surrounding areas, which include the port of Tanjung Pelepas, Tanjung Kupang and Gelang Patah in the southern part of the state, and also to Singapore in providing competition in the investment, trade and tourism sectors.
Assalamualaikum. So we're gonna discuss about environmentally sensitive area. So these are several environmentally sensitive area found within the vicinity of the proposed project site. So the environmentally sensitive area found within the port area are highly valuable to the local ecosystem, with several of them being classified as rank number 1. Okay, so this is a list of environmentally sensitive area within the vicinity of the project area. So there are 7 environmentally sensitive area. So the first one is seagrass bed. Okay, the seagrass bed at Merambong and Tanjung Adang Shoal are considered as the most important in Peninsula Malaysia. The seagrass bed sustain a diverse mixture of animal, and some of them are considered as endangered species such as seahorse and dugong, while the commercially important is fishes, crab, prawn, like sea star, sea cucumber and more. So next, Merambong Island is a 2.75 hectare of rocky island that demarcate the Malaysia-Singapore border and is vegetated by patch of mangrove and shrub. So the floral include not only tree but also palms, shrub, herbs, ferns and climbers. There are also patch of seaweed and soft and hard coral inhabit the water around the islands. So the third one is Ramsar site at Sungai Pulai and Tanjung Piai. So Sungai Pulai is a forest reserve, is the biggest mangrove forest reserve in Johor, covering about 8,000 hectare. It also the largest intact rivering mangrove area in Malaysia. Okay. Sungai Pulai mangrove habitat support 24 true mangrove plant species and 21 associate species. Tanjung Piai mangrove forest consists of 8 km coastal mangrove and approximately 400 hectare of interradial mudflat. Okay, number 4 is mudflat. There are substantial proportion of mudflat range from Tanjung Piai to Tanjung Bin and along the coastline of Tanjung Kupang. So the mudflat has a span of about 11 km with coastal band present at most of the coastline. Okay, number 5 is aquaculture. There are aquaculture activities nearby to the project area at Johor. These aquaculture activities, including fish cage culture, are found scattered along the estuary of Sungai Pendas. The major system being practiced were brackish water cage culture and canvas rearing. Most fishermen do not have other income, and their wives are mostly homemakers, which made them highly dependent on the fisheries activity to survive for their living. Okay, so the fishermen may lose their resources of income and should any deterioration of water quality and marine life. The next one is populated area. So the local area surrounding the proposed project area are mainly small fishermen villages. So the most of the family were a local resident living in the area more than 30 years. Okay. The last one is coastline condition. The coastline around Tanjung Bin Power Plant, located across the Sungai Pulai River mouth, is stable while the coastline between Tanjung Kupang is accreting. Coastline stability is afforded by coastal protection provided for Tanjung Bin Power Plant. As noted in the Shoreline Management Plan for Iskandar Malaysia SMP, the project site is relatively sheltered from offshore wave. So the oil spill from the open water have also impacted the mangrove along the coastline, resulting in dieback and receding shoreline. So the mangrove along the coastline have previously been cleared for agriculture and aquaculture. So this has further stressed the coastal mangrove, contributing to the erosion process.
Okay, today I want to talk about residual impact. Many residual impact can happen after development. First, developer need to think something can happen after development. After development, the ecosystem we need to care ecosystem, marine and surrounding area development. So this topic I want to give a detail about residual impact.
Introduction of residual impacts. This chapter details the potential residual impacts of the proposed projects. Residual impacts are defined as impacts which may remain even after the mitigating measures. This is part of residual impacts. First, decline in marine water quality. Considering the proposed development is surrounded completely by sea, the occurrence of marine water pollution may happen if solid waste, sewage and sewage are not properly managed. For sewage, even if it is treated to standard A, the discharge from the outfall will introduce additional loading to the surrounded area, which hosts a number of sensitive ecosystems, namely seagrass, corals and mangroves. Second, disruption to the sensitive ecosystem. The creation of 4 new islands will upset the interconnectivity of seagrass, mangroves and coral, which will cause disruption to these sensitive ecosystems. In addition, short degradation of water quality across this sensitive ecosystem would be affected. Third, increase in land traffic. There will be a substantial increase in land traffic on the surrounding area due to the addition commercial activities and population living on the reclaimed island. Unless the proposed upgrade on major road and intersection network connecting to the project site in implement. There will be a considerable disruption on the traffic flow caused by trip generated by the several hundred thousand of new residents, workers, and visitors. Fourth, this is about disruption to marine traffic. The project location is originally busy with a patient marine traffic play. Drove shoes as a ferries, burgers, and fishermen boats, with a high number of vessels sharing the same space. Disruption may occur. Lastly, foreign influx. Considering the fact that the majority of the new residents will be outsiders, the magnitude of the social impacts will be enormous. The impact will be futures exacerbated if a large number of this new population is made up of foreigners. A large number of people living together with different social, economic, cultural backgrounds may cause social and cultural conflicts and friction.
Biological component. So, for the biological component, we have land flora, mangroves, mammals, bird, reptiles, amphibia, fish, and aquatic microinvertebrates. Terrestrial flora, mangroves. So, first, a general review of 11 transects along the coast, or review to document all species of fish. And also you can get data from river and mangroves. So for the second, 40 studies plot measuring 50 meter times 20 meter for were established to obtain information on species and biomass estimate on the soil. So, terrestrial flora, mangroves. So, first, a general review of 11 transects along the coast, or review to document all species of fish. And also you can get data from river and mangroves. So for the second, 40 studies plot measuring 50 meter times 20 meter for were established to obtain information on species and biomass estimate on the soil. We have a mammal. So for this part, we have a large mammalian survey are conducted for minimum of 3 days in each site study along existing trail in mangrove forest. At each study site, the study was conducted at least 1 kilometer apart. Mammalia were identified by footprints and stain food during surveys. Next, information on mammalian species from the main data presented as forest and general species uniquely adapted to difficult coastal life. So next, we have a mammal. So for this part, we have a large mammalian survey are conducted for minimum of
3 days in each site study along existing trail in mangrove forests. For biological component, we also get the bird information for this part. So, Castor and airborne bird really heavenly on intermediate mud flat set and relate mangroves as this important wetland habitat support very rich volcanic fauna, especially resulting in active mangrove forests. Flora mud flat serve as a rich source of food for migratory beach bird and resident airborne bird. Last, for the biological component, we have fish and fisheries. So for this fish and fisheries, we have a seagrass special at a Cape Adang
The
shore.
ambient air quality sampling was done on 17 to 19 July 2014. The parameters observed were total suspended particles TSP, sulfur dioxide, SO2, carbon monoxide, CO, and nitrogen dioxide, NO2. 7 stations has been selected for the study. The stations' locations are as shown below, while the baseline air quality results. Noise measurements were carried out to measure and establish the existing background noise level at the surrounding area along the proposed span in order to establish the existing background noise level at the affected residential and sensitive areas. Existing background noise level measurements were performed according to the International Electrotechnical Commissioning IEC specifications. The noise descriptors are LEQ, LE10, and L90. The level were monitored simultaneously for a duration of at least 15 minutes in dBA. In addition, the minimum and maximum noise level Lmin and Lmax, which define the range of noise level data during the measurements undertaking, were also recorded in dBA. 7 locations were chosen as the noise sampling station, while the baseline noise result. 15 water quality sampling stations were established within the study area. In situ measurements of the physical parameters and sampling of water were carried out on 26 June 2014. The detail of the water quality samplings are as listed below. The water samples taken from the study area were analyzed by an accredited laboratory, and in situ analyses were made using portable analytical meter which comply with the standard method as specified by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency procedure.
From the overall assessment, it can be concluded that the proposed development is expected to cause various degrees of negative and positive impacts on the environment, social as well as surrounding land use. Huge commitment is needed from the proponent in implementing all mitigation measures proposed so that this development will be beneficial not only to the proponent but also to the local communities and the state of Johor.